Hey everyone, and welcome to Nom Watch Review, part of the Nom Talk Network. As you can see, this is a completely new person. No, I'm kidding. I'm usually behind the scenes, so I could do clicky clicks. So if you hear clicky clicks, it's me. Okay, okay. Anyways, on this show on Nom Watch Review, we review or recap or refeel the latest film drop or celebrating a milestone. And tonight, we are super, super excited because it is okay. It's been like 12 days since the 25th anniversary of Judge of the Jungle, starring Brendan Fraser. Yes, and I'm really excited to have my friends with me. Huzzah! But yeah, my name is Stephanie. Tonight I am having noodles. It's ramen, and then I also have banana chippies just in case. And then I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper because unhealthy life is best life right now, and a C3PR water bottle water. Fancy bitch. I did my absolute best. but but I am really really excited to introduce to you our guest of the evening. We have next to me, technically both of y'all next to me, but we have Yaya and Johnny. Yaya, hi hi. Oh,
Yeah.
hey. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna say, how dare everybody not mention that some people's audio was cut out completely. I apologize. Yeah. Sorry, can you do that again?
Oh, no. Okay. So, hi, everybody. I am back and I am Yaya. And today I am drinking fish soup with some veggies and some tofu. And for drink, I am just drinking water because I have a wedding that I'm going to. And I don't want my Asian aunties to go, Aya, muya. Anyway, so water today.
Man, aunties can be fucking vicious. Anyways.
They are. So I'm just like, I can't deal with that. So definitely no flame way this time.
No. And we also have Johnny. Johnny.
Hey, I got my cut water, Muay Thai. Muay Thai?
Muay Thai? Muay Thai?
Yeah.
No.
My
My Thai.
My Thai, not your Thai. Anyway, yeah, no. Let's Brendan Fraser it up, man.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Before we jump in, because we got a lot to talk about and a lot to say and feel, I'm just gonna run through the chat real quick. Cue ball. Hey guys. Hi. Yaya. Hi. Hi. Q did say it's going to be a good one tonight. Indeed, so it is. And then we have first time chat. Heartless. And the name sounds very familiar. Hi, Eric. Let's see. Cue ball said George of the Jungle is based on a 60s cartoon. Yes, yes. And Heartless is George of the Jungle. And then, with the whole audio thing, they said, can't hear. Look out for that tree. But Q did say, as we speak, I'm making butter shell pasta. Delicious. Yum, yum. Wonderful. Well, I'm going to do this a little differently from the others by just straight up going into this of like my origin behind this, as if I have an origin story. Let's talk about our history behind the movie, how we felt, when did we first see it, and what our popcorn rating is, because we rate it out of 5 popcorn buckets, and why is it 5 popcorn buckets, and then the battle. I'm kidding. As you can see, everybody, we already have our popcorns available for viewage, but we would love to see what you rate this movie out of 5 popcorns, and yes, you can do halvesies. Yeah, you want to start?
Okay, so I gave this movie 5 out of 5 popcorn buckets because, oh my gosh, okay, so for a hot minute, I haven't watched this like movie in at least a decade. But when I was rewatching it, and I started to realizing how much this movie actually shaped my childhood. There was like so many scenes and so many things that they did, and I was like, I used to do that because of this movie. This movie was like my comfort movie. This movie was the movie that I watched all the time as a kid. And like, I thought that like it was gonna be like the Queen of the Damn thing too, where like watching it in the when I was little was good, and then rewatching it would be like, oh my god, what is this? But no, like today, I was watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, like I love this movie so much still. Like, even as a product of its time, it's like 25 years old. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But even for being a product of its time, it's for me, it was just as good as I watched it when I was little. And I don't remember the first time I watched it, but it was probably 25 years ago. Don't remember where. Might have been theaters. I don't remember. It's just been so ingrained. But as I said, like this movie has been so ingrained to me as a kid that like a lot of the stuff, like just like the songs and like the actions, like like the stuff that he did, like all the facial features. Like I used to do that as a kid. I used to do the like thing just for fun, and it was just like, and now I'm like realizing, oh, this is where I got it from. And yeah, so 5 out of 5 for me.
Hey, whoop whoop. And then Johnny, give it to us.
So I'm gonna have to do two things. I'm gonna have to say one, Brendan Fraser, he gets like he gets a 5 out of 5 out of me. And
yes.
I want to see if we can change how I feel about this by the end of this discussion. Because I gave it a 3 out of 5, which sounds bad because it's a hidden gem and I do love it. I love Brendan Fraser. I love the Fraser songs or whatever that's going on right now. I still got to watch Doom Patrol. I'm really interested in what he's going to do with Darren Aronofsky at the Venice Film Festival. Like, I am, like, my number one Brendan Fraser straight up is Blast from the Past. Hands down. That and Mummy are my, like, number ones. So this one, like, it's a 3 out of 5 because of the 2022, like, goggles to look at things from like an older, I guess, sort of like maybe I'm too woke these days or whatever, but just like the concept of the way Lyle treats the the staff and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, it's based off of a 60s cartoon, so like I'm probably overthinking it, but like I want to change my mind by the end of this. I want to hear Jungle Cries from both of yous. And I have some questions of my own, and I'm not even the damn host.
Well,
let's get it.
Let's do it. I mean, as you can see, I rated it a 4 out of 5 popcorn. And there are definitely things that you mentioned, Johnny, that made me think like, oh, that was pretty problematic. But we can definitely dive into those like after all this. But so this is 25 years old. I think I watched it like in the early 2000s, like not exactly in the 90s, but kind of like right after. And I loved it. I loved the monkey. I loved the doggy elephant. I loved the gorilla that was like completely educational and very intelligent, like in an understand like me human understand now. Like I get you. Now we can communicate. Now we can get things going. And just the chemistry but between what's her name, because I am horrible. The actress's name?
Oh, actress.
Leslie Mann.
Leslie Mann? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Shut up.
loved their chemistry between Brendan and Leslie just because it looked so authentic. And I don't know.
How do you not have chemistry with Brendan Fraser? Like, it's impossible.
No, that is yeah.
That's true.
And so like I mean, I loved this movie as a kid. I thought it was silly because I did watch some of the cartoons. And then I saw the live action movie and I was like, "Oh, this man is so pretty. I love him now."
We gotta talk about the female gaze, like,
okay.
For real.
Yeah,
like,
no, and we will. So yeah, but yeah, so I rated it out of a 4 out of 5. I would love to put it a 5 out of 5. It is not my all-time favorite movie where I can remember everything, the history behind it, etc., etc. But enough about me. I'm gonna check what the ratings have been inside the chat. Heartless gave it a 4 out of 5, all because of the wonderful Brendan Fraser. He is a gem and he must be protected. Absolutely agree with you. And Cue Ball said 5 out of 5 for me because it's a goofy, campy classic, just like the original cartoon. And Brendan Fraser was perfect for that role. And there you go. Thank you for joining us. No, I'm kidding.
That add to that perfect thing was in one of my notes to my thing was just like, this is Encino Man for kids. Like Disney was just like, Brendan Fraser is it, because I think this is after Mummy, right?
I think it's pre.
Let me Google.
If it's after Mummy, then
no, it is before Mummy.
It's pre. Yeah, it's pre.
It is pre-Mummy by 2 years.
okay, it's got to be post Encino Man, because just like, which is so much more of a teen movie, with Pauly Shore and I think Samwise. I think it's Samwise and Pauly Shore. And but like, yeah, I mean, like his star was kind of rising, and they were just like, let's get him in here, do the same thing, have him play that himbo, and we got to talk about like the modern himbo, right?
Yes.
So, definitely, yeah. Like especially like in Encino Man, and then Monkey Bone, even like he was just that goofy, like stupid pretty man that we all love.
I know, but there's a thing about being like, but also warm and non-threatening, and feel comfortable, which adds to that female gaze. Like I, as a full-on straight dude, or whatever my spectrum, blah blah blah, like him, like just topless him. There's a balance between like, I want those abs for me / I just want to stare at those abs for days.
Yeah. Okay. So we are diving straight into the female gaze.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the straight male gaze right there. Even happen for like this Santa Claus-esque character of me,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Okay, so at what point were you? Here's my question to the ladies of the stream or the straight or the whatever. At what point are you a child watching this, and then the transition into your own sexuality and femininity or whatever, and go, oh, feelings, like, oh, this man is attractive, versus like, oh, he's fun and warm and he's making poopy jokes, like where, like at some point, where did your view in your heart and your whatever go, oh man, oh my, like what happened?
Yaya, you want to go first?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so as I said, like the time span that I've watched haven't watched this, it's been like decade. It's like at least a decade. So I don't know, like for me has always been like the goofy, like, oh, he's like, like I've always saw him. I was like, oh, he's such a good man. He's such a, like, even as a little kid, I was always like, oh, he's such a good character. And even now, I think it wasn't until today, and I was watching it again, I was like, because I've actually read, I think it was like a Facebook post or a Tumblr post where they actually broke down the whole like George thing as opposed to Lyle, about how like, yes, he's like this like god of a man, like aesthetically, look wise, but the way that he acts, it's always very much like it's Ursula that's in charge. He's never like forceful on her. He's never like gaslighting her. Like today I was watching the movie, I was like, dang, Lyle gaslights her a lot, and I didn't know that as a kid. And like, so like I remember reading this like breakdown a while ago, and like rewatching it today, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like this is like perfect. Yes, like he's not like smart academically, but like everything he does is always so thoughtful. He's never like pushing his own feelings onto Ursula. He's always like that. So like for me, it was definitely today, especially today, that I was very much like, oh, dang, oh my God, I need this in my life. Anyways, yes, it was today.
I mean, back then we didn't know we didn't call it gaslighting. We just knew that We just knew that it was bad, and we
Yeah.
could tell that no matter what the package, whether it be male, female, whatever, is that there is someone who is warm and there's someone who's manipulative.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, see, when you ask that question, I start thinking about all the men in my life, and as much as I call them snacks and like sexy ass man and being like, ooh, hashtag drool, I don't, I've never looked at somebody and been like, I'm gonna fuck that person. Never, I've never felt that like,
Oh, I'm
that,
the opposite.
like, that like animal instinct, ooh, like, make babies, with humor. Like I've never had that kind of situation. Like I've always looked at somebody like, yeah, you'd be an amazing companion, or oh, I hope you don't make babies. Get away from me. Thank you. Like that's just that's just how I am. But I did notice like there's a thing where you like see somebody and you're like, oh yeah, cute, oh so sweet, and then you look at them like, oh, you're
Like
pretty. So I see
there's
things as pretty. And I would say The Mummy is when I saw Brendan Fraser and was like, "Oh, you're so pretty." So yeah, that's my
there was
answer.
there's this balance of like being a straight man and just going, just like seeing an attractive person, being attracted to that person, and then as like we call it now consent, like it's always just been, I've always kind of been that person who's just like, maybe it's a little simp, maybe it's a little whatever, but my whole thing always was just like, I want you to know that this is how I feel, and when you're ready to partake, I'll be here, or I won't be, or whatever. But it's just like, it's one of these things where it's just like, you put your cards on the table, you lay it out, and you just say, like, for me, it's always been like that kind of thing. But as far as like I say, with my own like heterosexual gaze on Brendan Fraser in this with the baby oil, I just go, God damn, man, fuck,
Yeah.
damn.
And
Damn.
as much as we appreciate Brendan Fraser's young and yum era, the Yum
Young and young.
Sons, young and yum, his young and
Mhm.
yum era, it was problematic in his career in a way
Mm.
of like he became the prey to
Mhm.
that sort of stuff, and it doesn't help that, oh, there's a divorce, oh, there's a lot of alimony, oh, now I'm disabled for a minute and I can't afford things, and then his life just plummeted, and it's really good and it's really refreshing to see him come back and to see
Mhm.
all the people that are in support of him, even though he doesn't look the way that he did before. It's
Mhm.
and we go back to the whole personality thing. Like, yeah, he was a very attractive person in George of the Jungle, and so was Lyle. He was a very attractive, he was that typical, like, I'm a blonde haired, blue eyed, beautiful man in America kind of thing. But it came down to the heart and the soul of the person. And I think Brendan Fraser,
Yeah,
the reason why we love him so much is because he portrays that he is the
Mhm.
well being of like a good person and
yeah.
not a
You don't.
douche.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want like the. It's always a good comeback story is always great, and a comeback story that is deserved and earned, and for we as the public to say what's earned or not earned, you know that the vulnerability, that personality of who that person really is, that you don't see a lot of in Hollywood, which is like, it's great to have back. It's just genuine. You just don't get a lot of that in Hollywood.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I will say there are a few movies that have crossed that line and like portrayed other shapes and sizes and people as beautiful people. And it's like, I'm glad to see that progression. I'm sure that they're just doing it for clout, but it's working and it makes me happy. So, let's dive into the story though, because the story is a basic like George of the Jungle Tarzanish thing of like, oh, this is a guy who was raised in the jungle, and this beautiful woman happens to stumble upon the same island. There's this douche face that's trying to get with the chick that's finding him as a threatening person, and then he has to figure out civilization, and they need to figure out where do they want to be. He wants to be with her, she wants to be with him, but it's more of that like who's gonna cross that line and join which part of the which culture or which world.
Mm.
So how did we feel about the story itself? Yaya, do you want to start?
Um, I think like I again from like a female perspective, the whole idea of like going somewhere and then finding this perfect man, this perfect like person, and then like falling and like being like all carry. It's just like it's kind of like I think it's always like a female fantasy. It's always that female fantasy of like going somewhere, getting lost, getting threatened, getting swept off by fate, and then like falling in love and that kind of stuff. But overall story, I really loved it. It was really, I don't know. It's to me, it's simple, but it's so nice. And going back to the whole like, it's not like you. It's not his like alphaness that like we're attracted to, which is something that we usually don't see. Because usually when you have stories like this, like he is usually like the super alpha man, super like, oh me Tarzan, me want you as mate now kind of thing.
Like that, where he says, "There's no one to be embarrassed. I'm just me. Like you don't have to
Just
be embarrassed.
George.
It's just George.
Just
Like
George.
That is masculinity,
Yes.
right?"
Mm-hmm.
So I love the story, and overall to the like playing the whole like she's actually a dominant figure as opposed to him, and to see him like trying to go to her world and like acclimate to her life. It's much more interesting because you usually don't see that. Usually you see a woman trying to acclimate into like a male's life and like that kind of stuff. So I love the story. I love how it is. And I just love Shep. Oh my God. Oh my God. Him peeing everywhere. It's like Hama.
Oh my God. How dare.
Yeah, no. It's like I will smack you. Like like when the when he was peeing on the thing and then like what was it, Ape was all like, no, I will smack you. And I was like, that's Hama right there.
And then Johnny, how did you feel about the story?
I think this story does exactly what it needs to do. Like it's like I said, it's a kids Encino Man, so you don't really need to have like this really complex thing. Or as we adults now in 2022 eyes, this is him, and et cetera, et cetera. He has to go away to save his friend, all this other stuff, and that's all great. That's all good. But one of the things that I really like, or at least story-wise, and I think this is written by two women. I think it's a women's screenplay. I might be wrong, but I think I might read the credits right or wrong. Yes, Stephanie, typing on the checking that fact check. But yeah, no, it's just one of these things. The story I like the most is the concept that we're teaching kids what parents, or at least classist parents, feel about either you marry your own, like you marry Asians, or you marry white, like you keep it like this or that. I'm a mixed race baby, so like sooner or later y'all gonna look like this, like.
Why are you trying to scare people, man? No, I'm kidding.
Boo! Aha! Look at me! Haha! This is your future. Yeah, we're just talking about the horror short film that me and Stephanie were on. This is it right here. It's just be my mug. But yeah, no, just like the concept of the mom saying the spots and stripe analogy. That's good for kids to know. To know that people actually exist in the world and actually think like this about deeper and real things. So, like, kudos to the story and the screenwriters for that.
All right. So, fun fact: there were two writers. Yes, Dana Olson and Audrey Wells. Audrey Wells is a woman, and Dana Olson is a man.
Oh.
He's okay. So Dana and Audrey both did screenplay. Dana did the story, and a guy named Jade did the characters. So interesting.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. And this is where we can really dive into some parts that Johnny
Audrey did Over the Moon.
What?
She wrote Over the Moon screenplay.
Oh,
I was like that name looks so familiar, and I looked at it. I was like, Over the Moon.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. We can absolutely start using the story bit to like really kind of go into like the problems that we saw, because Johnny, you did mention how the douche man, I'm going to call him douche man, when douche man decided to treat people like as if they were beneath him because of his repertoire and how fancy he is and whatnot. So,
Hello.
unfortunately, yes, despite the fact that the cartoon is from the 60s, that behavior still exists with the same group of people. And I will say that safely so we do not get reported,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully. But it is and it's not just shade color. It's classism. It's solid
Mm-hmm.
classism. The people that have more money, the people that are wealthier, the people that are sometimes lighter skin, look at everybody else as beneath them and expenditures.
Yeah, it's just also this concept of like people of a higher class have to take longer or shorter strides, whereas people of the lower class have to take a lot quicker strides, a lot more exhausting strides. And therefore, the people up top go, oh, that must be difficult, but don't do the, because why would any human want to put themselves through hard work just for the other ones? Like, I got to say, like, I had to work in food. I had to work in customer service. And while it sucks, and while it sucks for anybody who's in it, like it gives you the perspective of treating people like people.
Mm-hmm. And I always say, instead of giving a kid a senior project, make them work in customer service.
Yes. Oh my god.
Everybody should be required at least 3 months of customer service employment before anything. So that if you're gonna, so that you can realize, oh wow, these people are pretentious douche faces and be
When
a better person.
when someone asks you to see your manager over something that you cannot change, like if you just do the thing, it's a store policy, we can't do this. I used to do this thing, and this was like the early 2000s, late 90s, where I would say, if it was my policy, I promise you I would make the exception for you, but I can't make that call. And then I would get the Karens. We didn't even call them Karens back then, but they would let me speak to your manager. And if you have a good manager, your person is just like, yeah, that is the policy. We wish we could do it, but we can't. And then if it becomes crazy, you just, they go away and they can't do anything, whatever.
Mm.
So this was before everyone was taping,
No,
This
before
is
we had
before.
quality recording equipment on hand at all times.
I remember I used to have, like, when I used to walk to work, I used to work at the Barnes and Noble in Burbank. What up, Barnes and Noble? Was that I had my Razor flip phone and a Canon Power Shot, like, because I loved. I'm a sucker. I was a target demographic for the social media age, because even if I didn't post it anywhere, I was taking pictures of everything, everything. And I didn't come from a lot of money, so I couldn't have like a DSLR where I would take photo shoots and stuff like that. I like documented my life before we put it on the internet. And it is kind of nice. It's kind of like a good scrapbooking thing that has nothing to do with this movie. But anyway,
Yeah, I was gonna say, so about this movie though.
customer service,
No,
treat
but
people like
don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Don't be Lyle. Just don't be Lyle.
right.
Don't be
Don't be an
Ursula's
asshole.
mom. Don't be them.
Yeah, no.
Even if you're
Sam,
in that position, do better. Be the change.
Oh my god, yes.
So,
you got
speaking of, I was gonna ask, how did you feel the actors did in regards to playing these characters? Because I think they all did top notch, including Crystal the monkey. But I'm gonna let y'all talk first. Johnny, how did you feel about the actors portraying these characters?
well, I think we already established how great and amazing we feel about Brendan Fraser, but I would like to say that like there's two standouts. Is the mom, is John Cleese with the amazing animatronics on Ape, and which might be a gorilla, I don't know, but also um, Thomas Hayden Church, the Sandman, Lloyd from Wings, was also very good. Leslie Mann, I was just like half expecting her to be giving Paul Rudd a hard time about being 40, or Katherine Heigl. And, like, I can't not see Leslie Mann anymore as like the Judd Apatow type shrew. You know what I mean? Like this kind of like, oh, I used to be cute and now my sister's having a baby with Seth Rogen. I can't see her knocked up, because I haven't seen Leslie Mann in any of her new stuff, you know, and that Apatow stuff, you know, really stuck with me. I'm curious of what the Apatow version of George with the Jungle will be. No.
All right. Okay. Yaya?
I love the cast. Like, that being said, I was like, love the mom. Like, but she's like the actress. She's like, she's just always like that character, and it's amazing. So wait, isn't wait, no, she's not. I was like, is she legally blonde? I'm like, no, she's not. No. I'm like, I get my faces mixed up so easily, and I always get actors and actresses mixed up with so many. But like, no, I love her. I love how bitchy she was. Because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be mean. Is that like, you know, I have a couple families like this. I have a couple of family members like this too. I sometimes loathe, because like in Taiwan, like some of my family members, they're like in really high places, and then they're always like very much like they do the same thing, and then they always they kind of tell me the same thing with the whole like stripes and the spots thing. It's like, oh no, not this, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I'm like seeing her, like she plays it so well, and I love the dad. It was like in the end, like when like the mom like freaks out and she's like, that woman's a pain in the ass. I'm like, someone had to say it. I wish like he could have said it to her face, but
it pays off so well at the end, where she's like, say something, and he's just like, be safe. Like the total like dad thing to say.
Oh, so sweet. Yeah, I agree. It's so John Cleese was the voice of the ape, but I gotta give it to Nicholas Cady, who was credited as Namir el-Kadi as the ape suit performer, because that job is not easy. Ever.
Yeah, if they were to make all CG, it'd be Andy Serkis.
Yeah, it would. Oh man. So major shout out, and I'm one of those people that are kind of curious about like who's the voice, who makes the monkey sounds and the elephant sounds, and it turns out it's Frank Weller. And if you don't know who Frank Weller is, this is the genius behind Abu. This is the genius behind Cricky and Khan. This is the same dude. Here, I'm just gonna scroll through real quick. Like he's Scooby. He's also a Pegasus.
Ray from the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he's also Fred, by the way. So he's Fred and Scooby. Ow.
I just saw an amazing episode. If you have HBO Max, there's an amazing episode of the latest incarnation of Scooby-Doo, where they have celebrities like they used to do Scooby-Doo movies. But there's an episode where Fred meets Fred Welker. And like they meet Matthew Lillard, and they meet the voices that play Shaggy. So it's like Shaggy meeting Matthew Lillard. It's insane. Highly recommended.
Oh, what is it called?
It's like Scooby. I think it's called Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, because they had like Weird Al, and they have like a bunch of. I think they had Kenan Thompson on that show. Like it's a fun. I'm against anybody who says that they really didn't like the Be Cool Scooby-Doo, which had like a Rick and Morty kind of feel to it. But yeah, everything relates to Scooby-Doo, by the way. So
it sounds like you don't like Scooby-Doo.
I love Scooby-Doo. I'm against anybody who says they didn't like the Be Cool Scooby-Doo that had like a Rick and Morty vibe.
I guess my sarcasm's just not good. I have really bad sarcasm voices.
Oh.
I was like, whoa, he really likes Scooby-Doo.
I just go, huh? Yes, I take it as that simple brain of mine.
No, it's okay. The way
I'm sorry, but also speaking of Shaggy, can we talk about Boombastic, the Shaggy scene where he's like under the water and they play Shaggy, pop reggae artist Shaggy. It wasn't me, Shaggy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We know Shaggy. It wasn't me.
Shout out to It Wasn't Me, Shorty, You're My Angel. Like,
yeah,
big ups to Shaggy for being in this movie.
And people, and people listening that may not know George of the Jungle, the movie, or the Shaggy, can you tell them what scene it was? Because we've already established the song was Bombastic by Shaggy. Go search it. But can you explain what scene it was that they did that?
Wasn't it the mating, or he was trying to do like the mating underneath the waterfall? Was that the scene?
Yes.
Just with the
No.
like. God bless Brendan Fraser. He's the one to do that. He can pull that off.
He's such an animated person. And I think
Yes.
that's what really, on top of his like goat skills as an actor, being facially expressive is a major, major bonus. But yeah, I think that was a hilarious scene because it's like Mr. Ape, whom we know is a gorilla, Mr. Ape, how is it that you know all of this and there's no book in there to explain how to mate with humans? But then again, there is no definitive answer on how to properly mate or establish hello, I'm interested, other than being like, hi, I'm interested.
And there's a great line at the end where he's like, "Oh, he got his first kiss from another human." Like that wasn't from like an ape or a elephant, which I'm just like,
Or the lion.
going around kissing other animals.
Just, well, look, if you're a lonely man in the jungle, you gotta make do with what you got, I guess.
He's never, but think about, okay, also his mindset. For one, seeing a female of his species, because like whatever, I mean, Tarzan, whatever. But then going to like a land where there's everything and then seeing a television, like, you're in it, man. You're in the Matrix. Like, what was going through his mind character-wise?
Before we get there, because we only have 20 minutes left, before we get there, if there was a mating song, we'll call it, what song would it be for you? What song would you use as a way of being like, hi, hi,
Just nothing wrong answers from this guy. Like,
oh, I can tell you what mine would be, and you would just be like, that's what you're going with.
Hit it, lady.
It's Rockstar by Nerd.
The Neptunes.
Oh, so funny.
Friggin' Pharrell.
Friggin' Pharrell.
It might have to be something Weird Al for me. Like, it has to be something so whack, because that's my personality. So whack, so wacky. You know what I mean? Like something that speaks to who you, like, whatever you pick, it speaks to the kind of person who you are. Like the how you're trying to say. Yaya, what do you say?
Oh,
my song is my song is Wolf Totem by The Who.
Wolf Totem by The Who?
It's a Mongolian.
Oh, Who? Who? H-U. Yeah. Yes.
I was going to be like, I know The Who, but I don't remember that song.
I wish I could play it on the stream, but the answer is no. We have never had a strike, and I never want one. But search it on YouTube.
It's really good, and that's like my go-to.
That's another good one, just like out of nowhere. Like, you gotta feel it in the moment. From Ex Machina with Oscar Isaac, Get Down It's Saturday Night, and he's just doing the moves with the robot. Oh, that's a good.
Q said my mating song is "Feel Like Making Love" by Bad Company, which sounds very familiar to me. Okay, so you were already talking about television and being in the metropolitan area, because that's where George eventually goes when he gets shot by Lyle. Thanks, Yadush. But okay, so my favorite scene out of all of Metropolitan was when he's barking and like communicating with the animals, and she's like, no, can you stop getting the dogs to want to come into the limo, please? Like, that was just,
she's on the phone with her mom.
Yeah, she's on the phone with her mom, and I'm just like, girl, why are you not letting the dogs in? Who let the dogs in, George? You should be happy. You're welcome. But what was your scene in that time?
The city scene.
The city scenes. I mean, like, you know, there's that setting of the jungle, then there's the setting of the city. So in the setting of the city, what would be like your
As a former Bay Area resident, I have to say the Bay Bridge, saving the parachuter, and then what, like Leslie Mann just commandeers a tugboat and like catches everybody. Like that's pretty cool. Like this, let's hand it off to the stunt crew who like swung from the Bay Bridge, which Bay Area people will tell you is a not very stable bridge. Like at least that side before you get to Treasure Island, before you get to that middle island. But yeah, no, the Bay Bridge has to be my favorite city sequence.
all right. Yaya?
Ever since growing up was the coffee, like chop, 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 chop. And he's just like eating the coffee grounds. And I don't know, for that's always been the scene that stuck with me. That's always been my favorite. He's just like, ooh, and then it's like just like watching the commercial, be like, George, get coffee, make like Ursula love George. And it's all like, but of course, if I want to be basic as an adult, my scene is definitely that horse scene where like, you know, he's with the horses.
Oh my god, that romance novel cover is just fucking brilliant. I have like inadvertently started like having the confidence enough to button my shirt further just because, like, you know what, man? Let's get saucy with it. Let's you know, and like the slow-mo, like the 60 frames per second with the horse, you know,
he's like with the horse. It's like, and I love the juxtaposition afterwards with like the two other like douchebag, like,
oh yeah,
like it's like, oh, girls are horses. It's like the whole, like, you know, showing that they don't understand what women actually want. And it's like, I love that.
We're idiots. Fucking just remember that we're fucking morons. When we do stuff that's stupid, we are idiots. We are idiots, but the first person, like, I hope to believe that me saying that is like a step towards the right direction, which is like, sometimes I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. My idiot man ape brain is just making me stupid. And like anytime I get into an argument or anytime like I can learn to be better or calm down.
So you heard it here, guys. Johnny says men equal stupid.
I mean, like,
But,
we
like,
put Punisher decals on the back of our trucks, like we're all tough because like the military screws with our minds. Like a bunch of shit. Like we do so many annoying ass things, you know.
And little did they know the actual meaning behind the Punisher, by the way.
You know, just like there's, you know, like I'm not saying like any possible like, oh, sorry, we're idiots, excuses, any of the shit. But men have been in power for so fucking long, and look how screwed up things are. Old, fucking annoying straight dudes have been in power too fucking long, and look how screwed up the goddamn planet is. Oh my god. But hey.
So girl power.
Fucking
girl power.
yeah, I mean, I'm on Nom Talk Network, for fuck's sakes. Like, come on, I'd rather be on this this women-led place.
Yay! Hey.
You need like a shock jock button for me to what? Like to shut me up or like applause things, you know, like. Or
why have a button when I could just do it? Yay!
Like this, but like, no, Johnny, stop, please. Stop.
Johnny!
Oh my god. Oh man.
I'll just add that to the host emails. Like, just use the hand signals. Hey, music nerd power cue ball. So we're getting this goes by so quickly, y'all.
Yeah.
My god. I mean, this could have just been a 3-hour stream of how much we love Brendan Fraser.
Yes.
Easily.
Do you guys
easily
ever do like live rewatches like with
licensing purposes? No.
No, like let's say for example,
But this is a conversation we could have after the stream too.
I'll you
but
later.
but it has.
Behind,
I will say for the listeners now that it has been something into consideration. It's just more of who's got the time. Because I don't have the time to be like playing Discord movies or like watch party. I wish I could. Like, I wish I had time. Y'all, like, people need to pay people more, man. And not the
watch.
people that have a lot of money, like struggling people like us. Like, give me my money. Stop taking my taxes when you're not going to take the church's taxes anyway. So, speaking of 10 minutes left, let's if there's anything else that you wanted to say about this movie or how you felt about this movie, this is the time. So who wants to go first?
I got a question for all the women in the thread and these lovely ladies I have with me. Do you think that there's a tiny? What do you think the psychology is, or the tiny iota that that the mom wanted George for herself, or had a history with? She could have married this like man with all heart, and she's just like spitefully making sure that her daughter doesn't make the same mistake. You know, like, do you think she wanted George for herself to a degree? Or?
I think she wanted Ursula to marry Lyle because of classism.
Yes, I don't think
Flat out.
Just
because
solid classism.
There was actually I had a question for just a quick second when I watched it towards when she was having a conversation with her mom and saying that like, don't you like, what was it like she was oh my god, totally blanking on the thing, but she was talking about the whole thing, and for 1 second I thought like, you know, her mom be like, you know, oh, like I went through that too or something like that, like da da da. But no, I think this whole thing was just again all classism. It was very much the spots and the stripes and like, oh, he's not one of us. He's not one of like, you know, the royalty of like San Francisco and that kind of stuff. So I don't think that she did in this. Yeah.
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 Let's see. Cue ball.
I think she's just miserable.
Yeah, you know what? Some people are just straight up miserable and they want everybody else to be equally miserable.
Or there's something in her life as San Francisco classist people. She got pushed out of the high society and like Lyle's her way in. But that's too much for like a kid's movie. But like, what's the story behind it?
Yeah.
Why is mom a bitch?
I wonder if the people that wrote George of the Jungle, like the original, like the whole premise of George of the Jungle, I wonder if they're alive and if they could answer that question. Let's see.
I know Audrey Wells is dead.
Yeah. Fuck. Cue said, Steph, set up a group chat on Instagram, please. I want to give recommendations of that. Well, you could do it right on Twitch, man. I put a suggestion box in the Twitch profile thingy, so that you could do that. Hey. Ow, I'm breaking in my equipment again, just like in Nerdbot. But okay, so final thoughts, final statements.
Bring me up to 4. My mind's changed.
Huzzah!
I wouldn't say this is one of my all-time, you know, favorite movies. I wouldn't say this is my all-time favorite Brendan Fraser movie, but it's definitely great. It's better than Airheads. He wasn't enough. He wasn't in enough for Now and Then. Y'all know about Now and Then?
I know it's a candy. No, that's Now or Later.
Now and Then. Christina Ricci. Who else is in that one? It's a good young girl's coming of age story that takes place in the 60s, and he plays a Vietnam vet, and he gives the girls like their first cigarette. I think Melanie Griffith's in it.
Wait, who?
Melanie Griffith?
No, who?
Brendan Fraser's in it. He plays a Vietnam vet, and highly recommend. Highly recommend at least checking out that scene.
I was like, you said the 60s, and I was like, what? He was like 5.
No, but it takes place in the 60s.
No, dude, he was born in 68.
But it takes place as these girls. As an 8-year-old, he was a Vietnam vet. It was just a baby in diaper in Saigon.
All right, so thumbs up recommendation, everyone. Johnny says Now or Later with Brendan Fraser. set in the 60s.
Not from the 60s.
I'm dying.
Oh my
Okay, and Yaya, what about you?
gosh. Again, love this movie. Watch it. Please watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Don't watch the second one though. Second one's not Brendan Fraser. No one.
Why watch it?
Yeah, exactly. So yes, watch it. Legit. Please watch it. It's such a feel-good movie for me too. Like it's just I don't know, you can't be sad. Like I was sad when before I watched it, and when I watched it, I was like, I'm happy again.
Oh.
It's a good movie. It's amazing.
I'm
amazing.
I'm really curious as to what like 5-year-olds in modern times today think of the animatronic post-credit scene in Vegas.
Oh
And,
yeah.
you know, like what do kids today think of the like SpongeBob-esque joke of like bad guy falls in poo-poo. Now we laugh at him. Like what?
Well,
Like, what
I
do
can tell you
think?
I can tell you with absolute confidence, this is not made for children, the show. Our show
Yeah.
specifically, because I've already dropped some F-bombs.
This is the parents.
This
Like
is
the
the
parents introduce the movie to the kids.
Parents with children who are at least 5 or around the 5-ish area. Let us know what your what your child thinks of with the animatronics.
If so, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
I'm seeing I'm seeing my cousins and my nephews this weekend. Maybe I'll get them to watch it
At the wedding! You make them watch it
at the wedding.
My final thoughts with this movie, if you've never seen the movie, watch the movie. Just understand, as Q did mention in the very beginning in the chat, it is a very campy movie based off of a comic or a cartoon, an animated show from the 60s. So, it's going to be very cartoony. It's going to be very narrated, which it was. And great job.
Great narrative.
This really did feel like the cartoon pulled out and thrown into humans. So instead of a cartoon George, it's a human George. Everything seemed very patterned in a very good way. Yeah, and just don't trust high class. I'm kidding. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I'm gonna go to work and they're gonna be like, "Oh, so this is your last day. Pack up and leave."
Dream, you don't like us rich people?
No.
We're paying checks.
You're paying my salary. Can you? Hi, I'm kidding.
Yeah, totally. Don't eat the rich.
Totally don't eat the rich. But rich people do better.
Yeah. Don't eat the rich. Do not bite the hand that feeds. By all means, bite other hands, but not the hand that feeds me.
True. The execs that I work under, I love them. People above, I can't say anything. Nope. I'm
Classes.
All
Come on, Roach. No,
all love. But this kind of wraps it up. I mean, like we went through, I feel like so much, but not enough. And again, this is something that could easily have gone 3 hours long, just breaking down little bits and comparing it and talking about like the in between the lines.
Nom talk, eating McDonald's on the top of the ferry, like
Yeah.
placement, the Nike shoes.
Nike shoes? No, we're not talking about shoes. Get out of here.
It was just a big certain boy.
I'm sorry, you cut out just for a second.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the fact that like at a certain point, like when he runs to save Ape, he's just wearing those Nike Airs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I did the thing because of this movie, like pulling up the tab and pulling up the tongue. I did that as a kid because of this movie.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser.
This is a very influential movie with very obvious product placement. And we thank you for that. But yeah, so this is all the time that we have today, humans and folkses and puppies and kitties, talking about George of the Jungle from 1997 starring Brendan Fraser. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to join our Discord to continue the conversation. If you got a stream or you got like a thing, hey, look, I did a thing. Plug it in our Discord. We love checking it out. Like, okay, so cool. Shout out to my guests, Yaya and Johnny for being on the show. If y'all want to, please tell us where they can find you. Yaya?
Me first. Okay. Anyway, so you can find me on Twitch Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I stream random games and horror games and scary games where I can sometimes cry because I'm scared. You can also find me on YouTube. It's, I guess, like www.youtube.com/C/J Palace Yaya. There we go. Where I post videos about Chinese history, Chinese culture, all that fun stuff. And you can find me on other social media like Instagram, all this stuff, either at Jade Palace Yaya or at myhamachi.
And Johnny?
Super simple. PaisanoPictures.com, where you want to go for everything. It has everything there. Paisano Pictures, but I also have a TikTok. That's Johnny Brillantes 83. But that's just superficial, quick, biteable crap. PaisanoPictures.com. I edit. You hit. I don't know what my face is. I'm sorry, but just hear me.
So you heard it. Paisano Pictures, or if you don't remember, follow him on Paisano Guy. But just Paisano Pictures. Paisano Guy, Paisano Pictures, Johnny Brillantes 83 on TikTok.
Johnny Brillantes 83 TikTok. Johnny Hot Takes.
Hey.
Keep it.
And you can find me on Instagram of my name, Stephanie Sandmeier, or if that's too complicated, because it is for a lot of people, go to Nom Talk Network right here, and then I usually tag myself in like all the pictures because I'm usually behind the camera.
Dude, there's a Nom Talk page on Paisano Pictures.
What? Oh, with all the times that you've been on the show, yeah?
Yeah.
There you go. These guys are regulars now. Like, you can't get rid of me anymore. So, best be on the lookout. Real quick, Nom Watch review us and Basic Binges, the TV show one. We're all now in podcast form. You can listen to us usually on the next day on Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Let's see. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Twitch account. Everything, literally, at Nom Talk Network. Or just Google Nom Talk Network. It'll pop up. So, let's see. Tomorrow oh god, yes. Okay, so tomorrow we're doing like a Basic Binges sort of thing. They're gonna recap Ms. Marvel season 1 because there was a lot that they didn't get to cover. But on top of that, they will be talking about the latest Marvel announcements that happened at San Diego Comic-Con. We had a week to recover from the excitement. We're already booked, Johnny, bro.
No, I was saying I was.
Oh, shit. I was like, yeah. So, wait, you went to the panel?
No, I didn't go to the panel, but I was there when shit was being released. Black Panther.
You were in the same city and block, so that counts. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about. There's what?
I might have been parked next to people who were in Hall H.
Bam. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So tune in tomorrow, same time as usual. And my name is Stephanie. Thank you, Yaya and Johnny, for being on the show. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night, or have a nomorific day.